my stepson, was a bright young man of age 27 when he died by suicide on Easter Sunday, April 1st, 2018. She's going to start crying, and that'll make me cry. So, Karen and I have been very open about Alex's passing, and from that horrible, horrible morning, we decided that we wanted to be open about the circumstances of Alex's passing, and we wanted to make some good out of a horrible, horrible thing that happened and ripped our family apart. So, Carrion has carried the ball for us through a number of years. And the Mayor's Gala, which raises money every year for the hospital, also raises money for other charities, often with a mental health angle. And we were able and continue to be able to fund the Carrion Foundation. And I've had the honor of meeting all those young people in those green shirts over the course of a number of years. And the good thing about it is we have young people who are often in this group racialized, and racialized kids and marginalized kids have a much higher degree of struggles with mental health than the regular folk. And I think it's important that we acknowledge what these kids done, because 40 hours, these guys are getting their 40 hours in their first year of high school. I know some kids that the last week of grade 12, they're taking 40 hours of school off to get their 40 hours of community hours in. So good on you kids for doing that. I see some new faces here that I haven't seen at these programs before. So thank you for coming. Thank you for listening, and thank you for caring, because the issue of mental health doesn't care if you're old like me, young like my granddaughter, black, white, young, old, rich, poor, French, English, gay, straight. It affects us all. And I can tell you that you've got subject matter experts up here who will share their tips, and they'll also share you the hurdles. And I can tell you that whenever I get up on the stage and I get an opportunity to talk about Alex, it's a good day. But it's also a day that doesn't go unnoticed by somebody in the crowd who will come up to me. And I had a coffee today with Vince, and I said that who's running for council in this fall's election. And I said to Vince, I said, it doesn't matter who you're talking to. There's always a story. There's always a story about my cousin, my uncle, my aunt, my dad, my mother. Everybody has a story about mental health. So it's good that you're here to support one another. For the people watching online, thank you for taking your time. France is winning 1-0 if you care. I hope nobody's PVRing it, because that would ruin the surprise of another great World Cup match. And while I got up here, tomorrow's Canada Day. We're doing great things in our country. We're welcoming the world with FIFA. We're going to have a great celebration in the back in Esplanade Park, the Kingsman Park, at 7 o'clock, and arguably the best fireworks in the region at around 10 p.m. And second of all, at 1 o'clock on Saturday, we're going to have another watch party where Canada's playing Morocco. So get your nice red shirts on and come and see the photo booth. Popcorn, free popcorn, other things there, family friendly. And it's something that is, it's at the Chestnut Hill Rec Center, 1 o'clock. Kickoff is 1 o'clock, but it starts around 12 o'clock. Those games are like precision, so they'll be done by 3 o'clock. So if anyone's around, It might be a hot weekend, so it's a good place to cool off. So with that, I can't stay all night because Jameson and my wife Karen are heading to England tonight. Red Eye, to visit her brother who's not doing well, and her brother also lost a son to suicide 3 years before Alex. So as I was saying, it impacts everybody's family. So with that, thank you for being here. Thank you for caring. Thank you for listening. That they say that God gave you two ears and one mouth, so listen more than you talk. And with that, we're going to do some presentations, and I wish you well tonight. And I appreciate the people that are up here giving a talk on various things. We do this forum, but we do outreach all across the region. We go to the suicide walk together. We go to Queen's Park and host our MPPs in a nonpartisan place. We go to Friday nights at the O'Brien Room, no relation, to talk about mental health. So thank you all for being here. Cheers.
Ethan?
Oh. Jameson informs me that France is winning 2-0 now. I hope you're not PVRing it. So. I still call the remote. Who still calls it a converter?
Oh,
Anybody?
converter.
Only
Yeah.
me? Craig does. Too.
Convert. I say converter. Pass it the converter.
Jameson says, "You mean the remote?" No, I mean a converter.
That's a boss.
I know.
I think when these young adults, they take great pride in knowing that at the end of doing the work that they're doing, they're able to get a certificate from Mayor Ash. It really means a lot to them, and they've worked very, very, very hard. I want to thank, before we do that, the Pickering Public Library, our partner for this event, and McCartney's Funeral Home for actually contributing to make this happen. They took care of Alex when he passed away, so we want to thank them for their contribution in helping to put this together, as well as helping to support our youths, our spring Alex Monaghan youth program members. As I called your name, if you can come up and take a picture with Mayor Ash for your hard work and dedication throughout the past 3 months. Durrani? Freya? Evanish? Josephine is one of our graduates, but she's not here tonight. But I moved to Lakshaya. Do you guys want to come back up afterwards? Freya? Evanish and
Let's get a
group shot.
Come on down. 2 and 2. Don't stand on the stairs.
Yeah. These are our 2026 Alex Monaghan Youth Program Spring Edition graduates. Thank you very much for your hard work and dedication. Great job. Thank you. And Karen, thank you very much for spearheading all of this. We appreciate it. Thank you. Okay. Thank you. Okay. Now we go into our program. Thank you very much, Mayor Ash. Our first speaker this evening, if you have a Kleenex, bring it out. It's a very personal person, quiet, shy. She's on our team. She's been working with us behind the scenes. She has this ability of just coping through everything, no matter what you're going through or how your mood is. Sometimes I'm like crabby and she'll be like, really? Or, or something bad happened and she goes, do you really expect that, Carrie? You know, so she has a really good way of dealing with things, and it's been an honor to work with her. And I appreciate all the help that you've done to holding these projects together. Leslie Martin is our first speaker. Come on up.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. My name is Leslie Martin, and I'm the mother of 3 adult children, Jessica, Kaylee, and Cody. I'm here today not as a professional, but as a mother who spent years watching her son struggle with mental illness, addiction, and homelessness. I'm sharing Cody's story because I believe there are lessons in it for all of us, families, professionals, community, and anyone who's ever loved someone who's struggling. Cody was born on June 28, 1995, a beautiful blue-eyed, blonde, or white-haired boy. He grew up meeting all the usual milestones, and he loved hanging out with his big sisters. Cody was bright, funny, and full of personality. He had a stubborn streak that would follow him throughout his life. When Cody started junior kindergarten, we began to notice that he was having challenges that needed more attention than we expected. As he moved through school all the way to grade 8, he received several diagnoses. Cody had a learning disability and was assigned an IEP. Cody was diagnosed with obsessive compulsive disorder and oppositional defiance disorder. Oppositional defiance disorder would prove to be his most challenging problem. Cody wasn't just stubborn, he would stand his ground to his own detriment. I understand mental health struggles from my own experiences. I've lived with depression and anxiety since I was about 25. I hated the way it affected my thoughts, emotions, and physical health, and I would do anything to not feel like that. I took medication as needed, I sought counseling, and I read everything I could to understand and manage what I was going through. As Cody navigated his own challenges, I worked closely with family doctors, therapists, and psychiatrists, and educators. I tried every recommendation that was made because I wanted him to have every opportunity to succeed. Unfortunately, Cody's father, from whom I had separated from since Cody was 3, struggled with his own issues. While I actively sought help for both myself and Cody, his father did not believe in therapy or medication and thought negatively about both. This created a difficult conflict for Cody. I believe he had enough self-awareness to know he was struggling and that he wanted relief. At the same time, he had been repeatedly told that treatment was pointless. Looking back, I think much of his life was caught between those two beliefs. As Cody moved through high school, things seemed to improve. We experienced fewer behavioral issues. He had some good friends who were positive influences. One of his closest friends was a young man named Joel, and the two of them loved buying chicken after school and experimenting with spices. But Cody was impatient and liked to cook everything at 500 degrees and didn't quite understand why the chicken always came out burnt. Those are the memories I treasure now, the ordinary moments that seemed insignificant at the time. After graduating from high school, Cody wanted to join the Army. Unfortunately, he was unable to pass the entrance exam, and this was devastating to him. He struggled to accept that something he wanted so badly was out of reach. After that disappointment, he found it difficult to maintain employment. His heart was set on the military, and because of that, he often sabotaged other opportunities. His oppositional defiance disorder also created ongoing conflicts with authority figures, particularly supervisors or managers. At some point in Cody's 20s, unbeknownst to me, Cody started taking drugs. He met people through work and started going to parties, and somewhere along the way, drugs entered Cody's life. One day, Cody called me at work crying. He felt hopeless and suicidal. Cody didn't have a family doctor, so I took him to a walk-in clinic. From there, he was referred for psychiatric assessment and was diagnosed with depression and anxiety. One moment from that experience has always stayed with me. While completing the mental health questionnaire, Cody was about to answer no to the question asking whether he had experienced suicidal thoughts. I stopped him and said, "Cody, you have to answer yes. That's why we're here." He struggled with the other questions as well. It made me wonder how many people experiencing a mental health crisis struggle to describe what they're truly feeling, even when they desperately need the help. At one point, Cody came to me and admitted he was addicted to Percocets, and he asked for help. I was shocked but hopeful. Cody entered a 28-day program, and he came back home renewed. He was happy, and he was joining in family events again. Unfortunately, it didn't last. Soon, I knew he was involved in drugs again, and this began our journey into hell. Cody was angry. He was fighting with everyone in the house. Years earlier, my husband and I purchased our home with my daughter Jessica and her husband. So this wasn't just my home, it was also their home and the home of our 3 grandchildren. And Cody wasn't Cody anymore. We tried setting rules and boundaries, we tried conversations, we tried consequences, nothing worked. Cody refused to follow any rules, and his behavior became increasingly disruptive and disrespectful to everyone. Eventually, he admitted that he was using drugs, many drugs, including fentanyl. As much as it broke my heart, I knew he could no longer live in our home. The safety and well-being of everyone in the household had to come first. Cody moved in with a friend for a short time, but before long, he was homeless. Although he could no longer live with me, I couldn't just stop being his mother. How was I supposed to accept that my son was living on the streets? This began my journey of searching out my son. Over the next year, he bounced between homelessness and staying with friends. He continued to stay in touch. Calls became a blessing and a curse. They were a blessing because I knew he was alive, and they were a curse because they often ended in tears, arguments, or heartbreak. I would hear him crying because he was cold. Sometimes he told me he couldn't take this life anymore. Sometimes he said he wanted to die. He still would never choose treatment. Sometimes he swore he needed money because someone was coming after him. I never knew what was a lie and what was the truth. Anyone who has loved someone struggling with addiction understands the impossible position. Addiction changes relationships and it damages trust. Watching your child self-destruct is a pain that's undescribable. A mother's built-in instinct is to protect our child. We want to comfort them, to rescue them, and make everything better, but addiction teaches us a cruel lesson. Sometimes loving someone means accepting there are battles you can't fight for them. I spent sleepless nights worrying, is he alive? Is he cold? Is he hungry? Is he hurt? If I didn't hear from him for 2 weeks, I felt the worst could have happened. I was constantly caught between 2 needs, the need to save my son and the need to save my own sanity. Once again, therapy was a lifeline. I was watching my son slip away as he had chosen to self-medicate his mental health